fans and frenemies, Nate Draconator here. You've all asked for more videos detailing some of my AUs, and who am I to refuse? This is one of my more self-indulgent narratives because I've thrown an actual OC into the mix, but it's the Snowflight AU, as detailed in my Heavy Heights PMV. We begin in ThunderClan with Snowkid, an all-white kitten of Speckletails who is discovered to be deaf. In canon, he is taken by a hawk and killed because he is unable to hear the calls of his clanmates in warning because he's deaf. He is explicitly killed for being deaf, and that's the only deaf character we've ever had in Warriors. That's really bad when there's over 1,000 named characters. Frankly, it's really weird to me how few disabled warriors there are, considering how they're constantly fighting. Imagine any other warrior-based culture, like pirates or Vikings. Don't you associate these groups with injuries and disabilities? Like, think about eye patches and peg legs. How many characters in Warriors have lost a limb or been blinded or even permanently disabled by an injury? Not to mention cats are almost never born disabled with pretty common real-life mutations, like extra toes even. These things are really common in real life, and that just isn't reflected in the books, which is going to make a disabled human reader feel like they've been intentionally excluded from the narrative, and they have been. Imagine a deaf child reading Warriors and having to know that the only deaf character in the series is killed because deaf characters just can't do things other characters can. That's horrible. That's horrible. So for this AU, Snowkid gets to live. When he's taken by the hawk, he manages to escape its claws, and he falls, surviving. Another fun fact about the writing in the Warriors series, it has some pretty wacky inconsistencies, especially in the original arc. It's positively plagued by continuity errors, specifically one where the authors literally forgot that Speckletail had had a kit named Mistlekit when they told the reader that Snowkit was an only child. That happened in the previous book. I mean, come on. She was never mentioned to have died or anything. It's just like they sort of forgot about the character and she stopped existing. So this is a perfect opportunity to change up the story for ourselves. So like I said, the hawk takes Snowkid. However, his sister Mistlekit was very protective of her litter mate and very angry when the other cats in ThunderClan don't seem so upset about him being taken, with cats saying he wouldn't have survived anyway, or his life would have been terrible because he was deaf and being deaf and being dead was somehow better. It's during her apprenticeship that she decides to leave, when Brightpaw and Swiftpaw decide that they need to do something, that their leader isn't always right, and that they're going to go and find the dogs. Mistlepaw decides she's going to find her brother, because she believes that he's still alive. The other apprentices think she's delusional, but Swiftpaw tells her he hopes she finds him, and that when she comes back, he'll have his warrior name and she'll have her brother. Mistlepaw leaves in the night. Meanwhile, Snowkid has landed in Two Leg Place. Specifically, in the garden where Violet, Barley's sister, lives. Barley's sister. Convenient? Yes. Perhaps it's StarClan guiding his paws, because this is the first arc, and they're still kind of mysterious but helpful. In any case, Violet's two legs are veterinarians, which means obviously they helped this poor injured kitten that dropped right into their yard. Snowkid is bandaged up and gets some surgery for some broken ribs or something maybe, and after staying with Violet for a little while, her two legs give him to a friend who already owns one deaf cat named Snowball. When Snowkid moves in with his new roommate, he's depressed and disenfranchised. He grew up knowing that everyone else in his clan felt that he was a burden, and that he was better off being taken by the hawk than being a warrior. He feels like his disability makes him worthless. However, the kitty pet who already lives in his new home, Snowball, didn't have that experience. He grew up being loved by his two legs, who never made him feel like he wasn't as good as other cats. And he teaches Snowkid that there's nothing wrong with him, and the problem is with people who didn't come looking for him. Also, he teaches him kitty ASL. Generally speaking, in real life, feral cats don't really communicate by meowing or making sounds that much at all. Mostly cats meow to communicate with humans, which is really cute, actually. But that means that warriors wouldn't really need to quote-unquote talk very much. But these cats do talk, and they talk a lot. So I like the idea of Snowball knowing some fun little fantasy sign language, like tail and whisker twitches, or paw motions and ear positions that all mean things the same way traditional ASL does. So Snowball starts teaching Snowkid, and Snowkid starts healing, all the while Mistlepaw is looking for her brother, and eventually finds Violet, who helps her find the two-leg who her owners gave Snowkid to. When he sees his sister has been looking for him, he's overwhelmed and realizes how truly loved he is. He's enjoyed his time here, but he's not a kitty pet. He's a warrior. Snowball, though, wants to go with them. He's heard Snowkid's stories about clan life, and he's heard the call of the wild. He loves his owners, but he has a lust for adventure, and he's ready to pursue it. So the three of them set out on an adventure to get back home, and when they arrive, Firestar is leader, and they're greeted by Speckletail, of course, who missed them so much. Honestly, Speckletail had it so hard in the original arc. Please leave her alone. So this is right after the Battle of Blood Clan, and even though people are really happy that they won, a bunch of people died, and lots of cats are still really depressed and forlorn about the whole thing. And the return of two wayward young cats and a new clanmate is seen as an omen of good future, and really helps brighten everyone's spirits. Snowkid gets the name Snowflight, Mistlepaw gets the name Mistleplace, and Snowball gets the name Snowstorm. After they've all finished, like a proper apprenticeship, of course. I like to imagine Snowflight and Snowstorm having a sweet little romance, but also being really cheesy, and Mistleplace being kind of a fiery, passionate, and impulsive youngster. I like to think that they have a silly back and forth over their names, the Snowkid and Snowball thing, and they're constantly joking about it, calling each other both Snowpaw on the way back to the clans as they imagine their apprenticeships, which drives Mistlepaw nearly mad. And at one point in my original PMV, somebody left a nasty comment about how deaf cats would definitely die, and something about service dogs. I don't really remember what it was, but I remember talking to my friends on Discord about the comment and whatever weird thing it had said, specifically about service dogs. And we were laughing about a cat with a service dog, but then I actually had a thought. Rats are actually really smart and can be trained to do all sorts of tricks and things, so why couldn't a cat train a service animal? Warriors characters have human-level intelligence. There's no reason that they can't. It's a fantasy series, so it's supposed to be fun. So I had a fun little fantasy about Snowflight raising and training a little rat to help him. Doing things like alerting him if someone is calling his name, or helping him with an injury incurred by the fall, maybe. Maybe he has breathing problems now, or something like that. I don't know. Following this little name joke with Snowstorm and Snowflight, he just names the rat Snowy because it's like a thing now, and I think it's funny. I don't know why. So that's basically the Snowflight AU. It's just supposed to be a fun character arc for a character I think it was a really bad move to have killed off in the first place, and to give some more screen time to a character that seemed to only exist by accident anyway. What do you think? Do you have a Snowkid Lives AU? Let me know in the comments. That's all for this video. Catch you in the next one. Nader's out!